folks, welcome back. I'm not going to waste your time. We've been relegated. It was somewhat of an inevitability, and with one game to go against Southampton away from home, it was, as I say, it was inevitable, wasn't it? We felt this coming for a very, very long time. It was a 0-0 against Watford. That was the thing that sealed the deal eventually. In a situation, we talked about it last episode, right? There was no way we were going to stay up. The goal tally was the biggest issue. The goal difference, was the biggest problem. No matter if we got the points or not, we could have won today and we could win this one. We'd still be on 37. We'd still be relegated and we'll still be bottom of the league. Now, I've got to say, since I've come in, it's not been too bad. 2 draws, 2 wins, and 2 defeats. It's average, but if we'd have kept that average throughout the entirety of the season, we'd have been mid-table. So it's not too bad, and it's a nice platform to build on going into next season. And next season is where things really start to spice up. Now, because our relegation has been confirmed, our budgets for next year have already been set. 11 million in terms of transfer budget, and then £1 million a week for the wage budget. That is a big old whack of money, by the way. That's really going to be one of the top teams in the Championship comfortably. And 11 million shouldn't be scoffed at either. That will definitely get us a couple of players in. And of course, plenty of players will be set to leave. We currently get 55% of the transfer revenue made available, which we're going to have to try and get up a little bit, I think. And with only nearly 14 million in the bank and losing money every month, it's not ideal. I assume the debts are playing a part in this at the moment. And they're going to be there for an awful long time. We're losing 200k like every single month. It's not ideal. It's not a lot, but in the Championship, it definitely will be. So moving on some of these big name players is going to be an important aspect of staying competitive in the Championship. The squad will change dramatically, and I think the transfer window will become 2 parts. We'll have this first part in which we're really trying to move on some players, and then we can figure out what our budgets are going into this Championship season, and equally then bringing in those players is going to be part 2. So I expect the transfer episodes in the next couple of days are really going to focus in on just that. We're going to have to do an out and an in episode and hopefully find our way around the window and pick up some really good players to help us on our journey. We've got a really nice English core throughout the side. There's some guys coming back from loan spells as well. I think we're going to have a good squad next year. I also realise, and I'll show you very briefly if we look at the contracts, there are some guys here on major money that we just can't afford to have. Basically, in my opinion, anyone over 40k, and this is going to sound a bit crazy really, but we've got to talk about it. Anybody over £40,000, anyone on that list right there, is, in my opinion, for sale. £40,000 is going to be my limit, really, going down. There might be a couple of guys that stay. Like, I think there's definitely a place for Josh Bowler, who I think has been fantastic, but I've no doubt there's players similar to him that we can get a hold of. And the other one, of course, is Tony Wright, that we'd ideally love to keep a hold of. 20 years of age. He's got a massive release fee, relegation release fee of 42 million. If that's met, there'll be some sadness there, but equally 42 million in the bank to help us steady the ship in the Championship. There's a lot we can do with that, and I really think it does make for an exciting transfer window. As I said at the top of the episode, I'm not here to waste your time. Look, we were never going to be able to stay up, so I thought I'd play one and end the season, hopefully on a high with an away game at Southampton, who are a basic mid-table side, really, in 13th position. We can't go any higher. We can't obviously go any lower, and we've got a little job to do then. Can we finish the season with 3 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses? It'd be really nice to have more wins than losses and draws. So there's a little target there for me, and let's see if we can do it. By first things first, then introducing you to the team for this upcoming weekend's action. We're in the middle of the week at the moment. We saw it coming, right? We all knew this was happening. We all sort of could see after yesterday. If we'd have won yesterday in that second game against West Ham, there was a slim chance they took that away from us, and then great result against Manchester City, something we'll definitely remember this season for. But the job now is very much focused on next season, as long as I remain in the position of manager, which I think I will do. Like, board-wise, it says I'm stable. They're satisfied with the management. I've got 1 year in the Championship to turn things around a little bit, and I think I'm going to be judged relatively fairly. They're pleased on the matches that I've performed well in so far, so that's not too bad. And hopefully we can give ourselves an extra bit of brownie points if we can get something today against Southampton. Alright then, gang, welcome back. We have changed the team a little bit around from what we've seen previously. There's a lot of familiar faces in, don't get me wrong, but Weldsmith is going to come in goal. English goalkeeper might end up being a goalkeeper that we actually use next season, Joe Weldsmith. We've not really mentioned him at all, as he's the backup. If we lose a goalkeeper, he's got a little bit of time left on his contract. He may well be the keeper that sees us into the Championship. So I thought I'd give him an opportunity to shine today. Turvest will continue at right back. Earl will be at left back. Diego Carlos and Schurz will be at centre back. Pierre Schurz is actually a really decent decent centre-back that we've not really used, as we've got 2 better ones ahead of him. But again, might be a player who's on a slightly lesser wage that we can keep around for a little bit longer. Onoma and McGinn will be in the centre. Hannah will play behind Brewster, right one side, and Sisto is going to get the opportunity to shine out on that right-hand side. 35 grand a week, Sisto. He's got another year in his contract. I've got a feeling this sort of player will be absolutely sensational. So if Josh Bowler does leave, Pion Sisto could be a superstar in the Championship. He really could. He's had a pretty underwhelming season by all accounts. No goals or assists this year, but let's see if he can finish the season with one. As here we go then, Southampton to wrap things up. Tyler Urey up front for them. I think they're playing a youth player just to see how he does in the Premier League. Very good attributes, but then his finishing, dribbling, first touch are really poor. Strikers this year, I thought, manager, especially regens, right? A lot of them have got really amazing attributes until it comes to finishing. They don't make them strikers then. Be right backs. Make them all right backs. A really impactful team talk by me there, by the way. Not a single person cared. All right then, let's see. Can we end the season on a high? I do hope so, viewers, because otherwise this will have been quite sad. I feel like it's meant to be, though, that we'll draw it. You know, 2 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws. That's very me. And I think for 7 games in charge, I'm not disappointed, actually. I'm really not. I feel like I've done a relatively good job. Wow, this first half is as good as the team talk. Nothing is happening at all. We're having a lot of the ball though, so I'm not actually going to change it going to the next one. I've had quite a few long episodes recently. This one is not set to be very long. We're not doing badly at all. Work hard. Can I get some... I'll passionately say, come on. I mean, the thing is, viewers, they're all on the beach. They know. None of them care anymore. They know we're relegated. They couldn't give a single stuff. Oh, trying to motivate a team that are literally on holiday is very difficult. But Blackpool is nice this time of year, so I can understand it. Chance for Southampton. That's the best chance we've seen in the entire game there. That cut throw-in that was awarded. I might go attacking it just to try and liven things up a bit. Come on, let's see if we can get an away goal. We've got Adkins on the bench. Right. Loads of you have been going, get Adkins involved. He's 6'8", is Adkins. Do we get him in? 6'8". Go on then. You've all won me round. We're seeing very little. Rhian Brewster's on a 6.3. We'll make him a target man attack. He's huge. He's 6'8", viewers. 6'8". Can Joe Adkins, who may well be here next year as well, remember, can he provide a moment of wonder for us? We've got wingers out there, so if they can get one delivery towards his face, we might have an opportunity. Really? Not a single highlight game. Is that what we're doing? I mean, here we go. This is the moment. Earl into right, and we've lost it straight away. Right then. Oh, Holberg's still there from current day Southampton. Lovely ball over to his left-hand side, and, well, hasn't this been enjoyable for one and all? Not a single highlight, and then they score. Brilliant. 32 points is quite a low points tally, it must be said. The referee's just gone over to check the goal's validity. I think it was absolutely fine. I mean, the ball's played over, and I assume they're checking for offside, but I think he's level with the ball, so I don't think he can possibly be offside. Yeah, he went and checked it, but it was absolutely fine. As, wow, that is actually going to be the only highlight of the game, is it? There's one late chance. Sisto puts it in, right flicks it on, and Raya in goal for Southampton claims. And a sad finish, a very dour finish, isn't it? Goodness me. I mean, I can only make games as exciting as they are. This one, very challenging. And now you can imagine if we'd had the Watford game as well, the 0-0 and then this. Oh dear. I'm going to say I'm not happy with the performance. We can't play like that in the Championship, otherwise we'll go down again. We'll be joining Boston in League One. All right then, Liverpool have won the league. I'm sure their fans won't shout up about that, etc., etc. Manchester United can still, they've got still a game left, which is strange. Manchester United and Southampton are still yet to play one final game. I'm glad nothing relied on us in terms of that. But yeah, Manchester United can still get into the top 4. But yeah, so Liverpool win the league then. City just behind them. I mean, we beat them. We essentially have cost them the league there, which is very, I mean, if there's one thing we have done, I've gifted Liverpool the title, which isn't too bad, really. And let's take a look at the Championship then. I think that's what we should do. Which teams are coming up from the Championship? The teams at the top of it, I mean, you can see there, look, the playoffs at the moment, very, very even. But Fulham and Sheffield United will be promoted, and you can see there then some of the sides that will be facing next season. Who has joined us from League One? I suspect Norwich might be one of those teams, actually. Of course, a team that I considered trying to get involved with. Oh, Lincoln are going to be there. Wow, what a turnaround from Lincoln. So Norwich and Lincoln both promoted, and Boston United up into 12th position, the informed team in the division. That is a little bit annoying. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. You can see them there. Look, what a run-in they've had. If you look at that, I mean, that is a bit ridiculous. Someone left a comment the other day saying, Oh, man, like you're doing wonders with them. They're terrible, it turns out, as we thought. One big change has happened with Boston, and that is that Solbakken went in as manager. Their previous manager left. I think it was Harry Ross, was it? Solbakken's gone in and done wonderful things with them. So Boston get a 12th place finish. Congratulations to them. I will hopefully never have to play them at any point. I really hope that doesn't happen. But there we are, then. That's going to wrap up the Premier League season. I just wonder if we'll hear from the board right at the end here. I don't necessarily think we will. Also, we haven't got any final season information yet because there's not the last game in the league. And weirdly, they don't play till the 23rd. This is bizarre. There must be some fixture congestion somewhere that's resulted in all of this. Oh yes, United play the FA Cup final and the Europa League final. So then Southampton comes 3 days after the Europa League final. How strange. But have Southampton had a fixture pile up as well, or are they just now having to wait weeks? Oh, interestingly, they played Manchester United in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Right then, so they've had quite a few fixtures too, and it's just sort of piled up ridiculously. Well, fair enough then. In which case, I'm not going to wait around for that game to finish. We're going to end things there. In terms of the squad then, what do you think? Who should we be looking to get rid of? I'm going to bring the contracts up again so we can take a good look at it. In terms of value, O'Hare, I think for what he's good at, he's probably worth the first player to try and move on. Zeki, got a few players wanted as well. Where does Iheanacho want to go? Newcastle, West Ham both interested in him. West Brom interested in Bowler. Tony Wright is wanted by some big boys. Chelsea, Spurs both interested. Gareth Hanna wanted by Newcastle. Onoma is in there as well. Middlesbrough and Sunderland would quite like him. Sheffield United fancy Ryan Brewster, and John McGinn wanted by Bologna. I think we'll try and keep a hold of him. So next time then we'll find out who will have left the club, what will our budgets be come the start of the new season, and I look forward to bringing it to you. If you've enjoyed this first part of the new chapter of this series, Hero to Villain continues with the transfer window next time. And if you've enjoyed this one, do drop a like. And if you want to see some more, that transfer window, make sure you are subscribed. We love with care. If you want to bridge until next time, goodbye. Maybe turn the notification bell thing on. Have I mentioned that ever before? First time for everything. And we'll be tackling the summer with a takeover? Investing 42 million in the club? Huh?